Hey there, everyone. Thank you for joining today. We're really excited to dive into our DeviceLink disaster recovery lunch and learn. We're going to give it about 30 to 60 seconds before we get started, and then I'll introduce you to our panelists. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Copia's Director of Product Marketing, Jerry Abbey.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today. I'm very excited to dive into this Deminar. To start, I'm just going to give a 3 to 5 minute overview of Copia, and we're going to keep the focus on the product today. So I'll probably keep it closer to 3 minutes. And here we go. All right, so quick intro, DeviceLink demo, and then Q&A. We're also going to be doing Q&A throughout this session. So as you have a question come up, please throw it in the chat and we will answer it live as we go. We want to make this as engaging as possible so that we can give the most value as we go here today. So quick level setting on who Copia is. We are bringing DevOps to the operational technology space in manufacturing and distribution. We're doing this with a focus on Git-based source control and the best pieces of DevOps, instilling a process that amplifies the impact of what everybody's doing and also pulls them in so that all of your employees can collaborate seamlessly in one place, regardless of the vendors you use, to manage that source control code and also to back up your devices through automated backups in the event of disaster recovery. Copia today, again, is that Git-based source control and our DeviceLink disaster recovery. And we recently added some AI features, including Copia Copilot to help with documentation, code generation, and many other different pieces. We have some lunch and learns on that if you want to check those out. Quick level set. Why do we want these products? How does this help our organization? We launched this State of Industrial DevOps report in the summer, and some of the feedback showed how many different devices there are in an organization. And when you think about backing up all of these devices, accessing, understanding them, knowing that they're there, having a software that can help you back all of these up and know and have peace of mind about them is extremely important. We also today launched the State of Industrial DevOps Workforce Report. Here is one of the highlights from Yahoo Finance, and you can see it if you Google it, all over the internet right now. And in this, we touched on a few different problems that we're seeing and a lot of research in the industrial automation space, looking at 5 decades from the 1980s to today of automation in manufacturing and distribution and putting it alongside data from the St. Louis Fred. So having this unbiased data to help understand the story of automation. We also pulled some owned research of how employees and employers are experiencing the employment space, especially in manufacturing and distribution and operational technology. And we looked at process. Many people have a process, but is it the right process as you go? And then pulling in successful customer case studies where the industrial DevOps platform has helped amplify the impact of not just people, but managers and the entire organization. And lastly, AI is on everyone's mind, and this report pulls in a lot of data around AI and how you can use it for impact of the organization in a value-adding way rather than just throwing it at things and seeing what sticks, but really thinking about your workforce and how it can help them. All right, and with that, we're going to dive into our DeviceLink demo, focusing on automated backups, OT governance, your control of operations, understanding and visibility into it, rapid recovery, being able to recover in the event of disaster, whether that's a cybersecurity attack, a natural disaster, whatever it may be, but the importance of being able to get right back up, avoid unneeded downtime. And throughout, you'll see the user-friendly interface. So that's enough of me. I'm going to hand it off to Caitlin. Caitlin, if you wouldn't mind giving a quick introduction of yourself and take over.
Perfect. Yep. Nice to meet everyone. I am Caitlin Lockridge. I'm a technical solutions engineer here at Copia. So I'll be running through the demo today. Like Jerry mentioned earlier, if you do have any questions that come up as I'm walking through the product, please feel free to ask those. We are happy to get those answered. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into the Copia DeviceLink side of things. So like Jerry mentioned, we do have two products, the source control piece and the DeviceLink piece. We're going to be focused on this DeviceLink piece here today. And so once you are in our web application, which we are viewing here, Copia is a cloud-based application. I do want to put that out there first. This is our web application we're logged into here. This is going to be your view for DeviceLink. So if you have multiple production facilities that you are wanting to back up devices from, you can build those out as what we call sites within Copia. So you can set those up, give them a name here, and then you'll see within each site, there are 4 different items. There are jobs, projects, devices, and agents. So starting with the agents, this is going to be the worker that actually does the automated backups of your PLCs or your OT devices. And I do have a diagram that'll help show this a little more clearly here. So the cloud-based component, which we're looking at over in the last tab that we were in, that's giving us all of the information around those jobs and all of the sites and everything. The worker, the agent down here, this is going to be that piece that runs the backup. So that agent is going to be a Windows machine that your team would be responsible for setting up and managing. And then that Windows machine will have the Copia agent application installed on it. And all of the configuration that we'll talk through in just a minute will be communicated to that agent so that it knows when it needs to back up these devices, what devices it's backing up, and any other relevant information. The agent will need access to those OT devices and will also need outbound only access back to Copia so that you can have those backups at ready whenever you need them. So that's going to be the agent component. So there won't be a ton of user interaction there. There won't be too much to show in the demo today, but I did want to give some background on what that is and where it kind of plays in the DeviceLink piece. The 3 other pieces we see here, devices, projects, and jobs. Devices are going to be the actual device you're wanting to back up. So is it a Rockwell PLC? Is it a Siemens PLC? That's going to be the information that we need to connect to that device. So IP address, COM path, username, and password. Anything like that that the agent would need to be able to actually go out and connect and pull that back up. The projects are going to be the file that's being backed up. So we need to specify, is this a Rockwell ACD file? Is this a Siemens TI portal project? And then we'll actually tie that to the actual file that is needing to be backed up. The last piece is going to be the job, and that is just how frequently you want these backed up. So once a day, once a week, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for your team, that's going to be what's set up in the job field. So that is going to be the main terminology within DeviceLink that we'll need. So from here, I do want to give you another view. So maybe you're just wanting to see kind of a status of your sites that have been set up in Copia here. Instead of looking at this from more of a list type view, you can also see this from more of a visual graphic view. So once those jobs and projects and devices are all set up, that agent is running backups, you can get this graphic view where you'll be able to see, the backups that have run, how many of them are succeeded. How many of them are up to date, how many of them are modified, so on and so forth. So this can help you kind of come in and see how your sites are doing, how many code modifications are being made on the day-to-day. And that can kind of help you sort through what those modifications are and dig into those details and make any changes that may be necessary. The next thing I want to move into is going to be the site view. So giving you kind of the more granular view of what's going on with any specific site. So stepping into that, we'll have our site view here. So we are in a specific Copia New York City site here. So we've got our job history page. So once again, this is going to be your view once everything's been configured and those jobs are running. This is going to be your job history overview page that is going to show you the breakdown of those jobs that have run. So this is giving us some modified, some up-to-date results. This is just giving us that context of what's been going on here in this site. If you don't want to worry about signing into Copia and checking on this regularly, maybe you're just wanting to be notified when something's modified or when something is maybe having issues, you can set up job notifications and just get those in your email. So you can just monitor your inbox instead of needing to worry about signing into Copia. You can get those emails sent to your inbox and that specify, if you want to see every job result, if you want to break that down to just the modified, however you want to set that up, you can set that up. And then also you could set up an integration. If you have Teams or Slack, you could monitor those backup results there as well. So there's a few different options there to make it really easy to keep an eye on those backups that are being run and making sure you're aware of those code changes that are happening. The two main statuses that we're seeing here are going to be up to date and modified. So just digging into that a little bit, there is a comparison step when that backup is run. So we're going to be comparing this backup that we've just pulled to a last known version within Copia. That could be a previous backup. That could be a backup or a version that has been added through our source control product. Just depends on how you're using this and what your workflow looks like. But basically, we're going to do that comparison. If the backup that Copia has matches the backup that the agent just pulled, that's going to be up to date. That means you already have a copy of that file, and we won't need to duplicate that effort. There's not much to show on those up-to-date job results because there's no comparison view to show you what's changed there because nothing has changed. Modified jobs are what most users are concerned about. So those are going to be when the last known version that Copia has does not match the version that the agent just pulled. So that's when we're going to pull that in, give you a modified job result, and then you'll be able to go in and view the details of what those changes were. So I'm going to click over to an example of that so you can get an idea of what that looks like. This will be an example for a Studio 5000 project, but it'll be similar for those other vendors as well. This top section of the page here, this is going to be our job card. This is just giving you information about when that job ran, how long it took, all of that. And then if we scroll down here, we do get that comparison result that was generated through Copia. And this is going to give us some context of what changed in this backup. So over in the project tree, there's typically 3 icons we'll see. We only see 2 here, but the first being modified. So this is telling us that this existed in the previous version. It's just changed in this version. We've got the added icon, which is telling us that this did not exist in the previous version. Now it's new. And then there's also a removed icon, which is not shown here. That's just telling us that that has been deleted since the previous version. Once you've clicked into these different project items, you'll see that there will be highlighting of red and green. Highlighting of red means it was deleted. Highlighting of green means it was added. So this is a structured text example. I also have some ladder logic examples here as well. And this will apply to other languages as well. We can click through here and just to see a few examples so you can get a feel for what that looks like. That is going to be the general idea of what you'll see for those comparison results. One other thing I do want to jump back to on the job history page is that from this view, we do have this view details button here, which takes us to that comparison that we just saw. In addition to this, maybe you're not wanting to see what happened in that backup, what that comparison result was. Maybe you just want that file because maybe you're in a pinch and you need to go download that file to the PLC, or you just need it as a reference. To quickly access that backup, you can simply click this down button here, and then we can see download files here, and that will give you the files that have been backed up in that version. So it's really easy in an emergency disaster recovery situation to quickly retrieve those and go download those to the PLC where they may be needed, or the other device, whatever that is that has been backed up. Outside of that, that's really everything that I wanted to cover for the DeviceLink piece. Like I mentioned earlier, please feel free to ask questions. Happy to answer those. But for me, I will go ahead and pass it back to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Kaylin. So I haven't seen any questions come in. If there are any questions, if you could please enter them in the Q&A box now, and we'd be happy to address them. I'll give about a minute, and if no questions come in, then we can go ahead and break. Just give a pause here. And I guess while we're waiting, We also have more events coming up. There's other lunch and learns like this where we're going to be demonstrating our Copia Copilot. We'll have more on DeviceLink and also more on source control in the coming weeks and months. In addition to that, the report that I mentioned earlier, we're doing a fireside chat webinar series and have some special guests that are going to be joining to help contextualize all that data on workforce, technology, people, processes being pulled together, and how to amplify how you are experiencing technology today and how you are managing your entire workforce, including getting people to come in and stay. So I don't see any questions. Thanks, Joe, for adding that download to the chat. So if you want to directly access the report, the fireside chat series, you can click that link. Also, it'll lead you to the report as well. So with that, I think we can wrap up. Keep it short and sweet. Caitlin, thank you so much for walking us through that demo. Thank you to our audience for joining today. And thank you, Joe and Gavin, for helping to set this up and create this demonstration we're able to bring today. Thank you, everybody.